The fifth episode of Alien, Earth, titled In Space, No One, serves as both a loving homage to Ridley Scott's original 1979 classic and a crucial narrative turning point. This episode transports us back 17 days before the USCSS Maginot's catastrophic crash on Earth, revealing the terrifying events that led to the disaster we witnessed in the premiere. The title itself plays on the original film's famous tagline, "In space, no one can hear you scream," immediately setting expectations for a claustrophobic, tension-filled experience that mirrors the franchise's roots while expanding its mythology in bold new directions. The episode meticulously recreates the aesthetic and atmosphere of the Nostromo, using the original blueprints from Scott's film to design the Maginot's interiors. This isn't merely visual fan service. It's a deliberate artistic choice to ground the series in the franchise's iconic retro-futurism while telling a story that both honors and subverts expectations. The dripping chains, humid corridors, and functional industrial design all echo the original film's aesthetic, creating immediate familiarity before plunging us into new terrors. What makes this episode particularly effective is its use of dramatic irony. We already know from the series premiere that the Maginot will crash and that Morrow will be the sole survivor. The tension, therefore, doesn't come from whether the crew will survive, but rather how their inevitable demise occurs and what motivations drive Morrow's coldly pragmatic decisions. This narrative approach transforms the episode into a tragic character study wrapped in a creature feature, elevating it beyond simple homage into substantive storytelling that deepens our understanding of the entire series. The episode begins with Security Officer Morrow being abruptly awakened from cryosleep to a scene of escalating chaos. A fire has broken out in the specimen lab, resulting in two facehuggers being unleashed upon the crew. Captain Dinsdale lies dead in the medbay, his neck horrifically burned by acid blood after a failed attempt to remove the creature attached to his face. Scientist Bronsky remains alive, but similarly infected, with a facehugger firmly attached. The situation immediately establishes the classic Alien franchise terror: biological horror combined with human vulnerability in an isolated environment. As Morrow assesses the crisis, several critical details emerge. The fire wasn't accidental. It was sabotage that destroyed the ship's navigation systems and reduced fuel to a mere 8%. A crew member grimly notes that they're no longer a spaceship but a missile headed for Earth, with approximately 24 hours until impact. This revelation shifts the narrative from simple containment to urgent race against time, layering the creature threat with impending doom.
Morrow's investigation of the lab reveals burn containment crates and acid damage everywhere. Security footage shows a shadowy figure tampering with the egg containers, but the image is too distorted to identify the saboteur. This mystery hangs over the early scenes, creating a paranoia that echoes the original film's tension around Ash's true motivations. A quiet moment reveals Morrow reading messages from his deceased daughter Estelle, who died in a fire back on Earth while he was on mission. This heartbreaking backstory, mirroring Ripley's lost daughter in Aliens, adds profound emotional depth to his character. We learn he was once a feral street kid with a palsied arm, taken in by Yutani's grandmother, who provided him with his cybernetic enhancements. His loyalty to the corporation isn't just professional. It's deeply personal, rooted in gratitude and the need to make his daughter's death meaningful through completing his mission. The crisis escalates violently when Bronsky's cryopod fails. The crew discovers his chest catastrophically burst open, blood everywhere, with a newborn xenomorph now loose in the ventilation systems. This direct parallel to Kane's death in Alien signals the transition from potential containment to full-scale outbreak. Morrow distributes specially modified stun weapons designed to avoid acid spills, an intelligent tactical detail that shows the writers understanding the franchise's internal logic. In the science lab, Dr. Chibuzo examines the various specimens, including the enigmatic T. Ocellus, the Oculus, contained in a secure jar. Here we witness one of the episode's most fascinating sequences. A blood tick creature manages to escape its confinement and deposits larvae into Chibuzo's water bottle. The Oculus observes this development and becomes agitated, banging against its container in what appears to be a warning. This moment of apparent concern from a non-human entity adds fascinating complexity to the show's creature dynamics. The situation deteriorates further when engineer Malachite drinks from the contaminated water bottle. He soon collapses, vomiting blood as the alien larvae hatch inside him. In the medbay, Dr. Rahim attempts surgery, only to have a tick creature release a lethal toxic gas that kills both him and Chibuzo instantly. A brutal reminder that every specimen aboard represents a different form of biological terror. Morrow's investigation eventually identifies the saboteur as Chief Engineer Petrovich, who reveals he made a deal with Prodigy Corporation's Boy Cavalier to crash the ship in exchange for wealth and a new hybrid body. This revelation directly connects to the corporate betrayal themes that run through the entire franchise, from Burke's greed in Aliens to David's experiments in Prometheus and Covenant. Morrow executes Petrovich, but not before the engineer smugly declares they'll get their monsters, signaling that the plan is already in motion and cannot be stopped. The episode's climax features a spectacular creature versus creature showdown, as the Oculus, having escaped its container, takes control of engineer Shmuel by replacing his eye with itself. The possessed Shmuel attacks the Xenomorph with surprising strength and ferocity, eventually forcing the Oculus to emerge and engage the larger creature directly. This battle represents something never before seen in the franchise: two alien species with different evolutionary strategies in direct conflict. In the final moments, as the ship plummets toward Earth, Morrow makes the cold calculation to seal himself on the bridge, while Captain Zaveri is hunted and killed by the Xenomorph outside. This chilling decision reinforces his transformation into a mission-obsessed survivor who values the specimens above human life, a complex moral position that makes him both antagonist and protagonist simultaneously. The episode concludes with the crash we witnessed in the series premiere, now fully contextualized with all its tragic inevitability. The most fascinating addition to the alien mythos in this episode is undoubtedly T. Ocellus, the Oculus, which demonstrates unprecedented intelligence and strategic behavior for a creature in this universe. Its actions suggest not just simple survival instincts, but possibly even higher cognitive functions that redefine what we expect from alien life in this franchise. When the blood tick escapes containment in Chibuzo's lab, the Oculus doesn't merely observe. It becomes agitated and purposeful, banging repeatedly against its glass enclosure. This isn't random thrashing. It's deliberate communication attempt, a warning about danger it recognizes but cannot verbally articulate. The creature demonstrates pattern recognition and risk assessment capabilities that suggest either evolutionary sophistication or possibly even engineered intelligence. Later, when it escapes its container, the Oculus doesn't immediately attack humans indiscriminately. Instead, it assesses the situation and identifies Shmuel as a viable host that can serve both as protection and weapon. The method of possession, precisely replacing the eye rather than simply infesting the body, shows surgical precision and understanding of human anatomy that is extraordinary. The most spectacular demonstration of the Oculus's capabilities comes when it directly engages the Xenomorph, first using Shmuel as a biological mech suit, then attacking independently when the host is compromised. This isn't mindless aggression. It's tactical engagement with a recognized threat. The creature seems to understand the Xenomorph's capabilities and responds accordingly, suggesting possible prior experience with the species. Let's explore a compelling theory about the Oculus. Could it be an engineered countermeasure? Imagine a world where Xenomorphs have overrun a civilization, and in response, scientists create a specialized organism designed to combat them. The Oculus's intelligence, mobility, and possession capability would make it an ideal xenomorph hunter, able to track them, recognize their strategies, and even turn their own hosts against them. This would position the Oculus not as a mindless predator, but as a specialized bioweapon with a defined purpose. Consider this hypothetical scenario. On a far-flung colony world, a young girl hides from a xenomorph patrol. Just as one detects her, an Oculus arrives, not to harm her, but to protect. It uses its capabilities to distract the xenomorphs, leading them away from her hiding place and engaging them in combat with strategic precision. This would make the Oculus not just another alien species, but potentially an ally against the franchise's ultimate evil, a revolutionary concept for the universe. The Oculus's behavior patterns suggest it might share characteristics with the predator species from the expanded franchise mythology. Both demonstrate advanced tactical thinking, both engage xenomorphs directly rather than avoiding them, and both seem to operate with purposes beyond simple feeding or reproduction. The Oculus could represent a different approach to the same problem. Where the predators use technology and hunting culture, the Oculus uses biological adaptation and infestation strategies. The revelation that Boy Cavalier orchestrated the Maginot sabotage creates compelling narrative momentum for the remaining episodes. His motivation appears to be stealing Weyland-Yutani's biological research to advance his own hybrid program, which we've seen with Wendy and the Lost Boys. This corporate espionage storyline deeply connects with the franchise's ongoing theme of amoral capitalism exploiting alien biology. Cavalier's statement that only child minds can successfully integrate with hybrid bodies explains why Petrovich was ultimately betrayed. He was never a viable candidate. This cruel deception reinforces how the corporate figures in the alien universe consistently value life only for its utility, continuing the tradition of characters like Burke from Aliens and Weyland from Prometheus. Morrow surviving the crash and his communication with Yutani sets up a likely corporate war storyline between Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy Corporation. This conflict could potentially eclipse even the alien threat in future episodes, creating a three-way struggle between humans, corporations, and creatures that would be unprecedented in the franchise. Its apparent hostility towards xenomorphs might make it an unlikely ally for Wendy and the hybrids, particularly if they seek to control or eliminate the alien threat. The episode's confirmation that cryosleep doesn't stop xenomorph gestation pays direct homage to the original film's debated science. This reinforces the creature's perfect organism status and creates continued problems for any future containment attempts. Wendy's growing connection to the xenomorphs, established in previous episodes, now takes on greater significance in light of the Oculus's capabilities. If she can indeed communicate with or control the aliens, she might represent a third evolutionary path, neither purely human nor alien, but something entirely new that could either save or doom humanity. The contrasting strategies of the corporations suggest deeper philosophical divisions. Weyland-Yutani seeks to weaponize the aliens through traditional containment and control, while Cavalier's Prodigy Corporation seems focused on human-alien integration through the hybrid program. This fundamental disagreement about how to exploit the xenomorph discovery could drive conflicts through multiple seasons. The recurring theme of parental loss, Morrow's daughter, Ripley's daughter in Aliens, the parental themes in Covenant, suggests that humanity's future may depend on overcoming these traumas. Wendy's relationship with the Lost Boys might be the key to breaking the cycle of exploitation and destruction that has defined human-alien interaction thus far. Finally, the introduction of genuinely intelligent, non-humanoid aliens in the form of the Oculus expands the franchise's biological possibilities beyond the xenomorph and its variations. This opens the door for more diverse alien encounters that don't simply rehash previous designs and behaviors, potentially refreshing the franchise for future stories.